Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Ghost and today we're going to be going over some ships that I recommend to newer players or people who just want to buy some premium ships. I know there's well, not really I know, but I get a lot of questions from people asking, "Hey doctor, what do you recommend me get? Should I get this ship? Should I get that ship?" And I'm going to cover all that stuff in this video. I'm going to go over all of the ships, or not all of the ships, but most of the ships that I personally recommend picking up if you have the money or if you're interested or whatever. I'm going to go over what they're all about and what personally I would recommend picking up, you know, if you're trying to buy your first premium ship or anything like that in World of Warships Legends. Now, before we get into this one, I would like to remind you guys to, before you even think about picking up a premium ship from the store here, make sure you guys know what you're doing before you spend money on the game, okay? Don't come in here and buy a ship if you have no idea how to play the game, all right? I know some people who buy a ship and they instantly regret it because they think it sucks, and when in reality they just do not know how to play it and they might end up selling it or whatever. So just make sure you know what you're getting into before you come into the store and buy some stuff, okay guys? Just be careful because you might regret it later down the line, okay? Anyway, moving on. I'm going to get into the ships that I recommend. Right off the bat, I think like the main ship that I would recommend to any new player or any players who are wanting a overall solid premium destroyer is right off the bat, man, for Germany. Right off the bat for Germany, I think if you don't have this, it's a must-have if you really like tactical competitive destroyers, is the T-61. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. It's got fast loading torpedoes, and it's got, you know, decent sonar. It's got smoke, so it's got a smoke sonar combo, which is really, really strong. And yeah, we're just gonna take a look at the ship. So it does cost 10,000 doubloons, which is about $40 USD, around $50 everywhere else. So 50 bucks basically you got to spend on the boat. It's pretty expensive, I know, but it's a very strong destroyer. Mainly because it gets access to sonar at tier 5 for a destroyer. It's got German sonar, so it's pretty good in terms of range, 4 kilometers. It's got 2.8 torpedo detectability. Overall, it's pretty strong. And you get base, you get 2 of them. So yeah, that's without any sort of, you know, commander stuff like with fully packed and whatnot. And you also get smoke screens. So having that smoke sonar combo is immediately, I think, one of the best things for any DD in the game. And not to mention, the torpedoes on the T-61 are absolutely fantastic. They don't necessarily do a lot of damage, but they're pretty quick. They've got decent range, 8 kilometers, and they have a very fast reload, 68 seconds base. Very solid option at tier 5. T-61 has just overall great utility. It's got that sonar. It's got the engine boost. It's got the smoke. It's got really decent guns, 128 millimeter guns, basically 5-inch guns, and it does have a 4-second base reload. So this thing overall is a very good jack of all trades sort of destroyer. Solid torpedoes, solid utility, solid guns. Overall, I think this is one of the best destroyers in the game to buy if you're going after a premium destroyer. And it does have like 14,000 hit points. So overall, man, very good destroyer here. I would recommend it. Moving on to the next ship I would recommend, I would definitely say if you're looking for a battleship to buy, it's got to be Warspite, man, for tier 5. Over in the UK line, Warspite is absolutely phenomenal, okay? Warspite, and the reason being why it's so phenomenal is because of the 15-inch guns that this thing possesses. They are usually very, very consistent. They're very accurate. They hit like trucks. You got around a 15.5 kilometer base range with a commander fully decked out. Like, for example, if you slap on if you slap on Andrew Cunningham, for example, you can get your range even further out, and you can just have much better results out of this thing. It's got good accuracy consistently. It's got really good guns. They are 15-inch guns, so they overmatch a lot, man. Very, very solid guns on this ship. And the armor's not horrible, too. Like, the armor's pretty good. It's not horrible. You can ricochet shells up to 15 or 14 inches. Bow and stern, 25 millimeters everywhere. But yeah, Warspite, man. Honestly, one of the best tier 5 battleships in the game. And another solid tier 5 battleship I would also recommend is for the Japanese, the Hyuga, man. This thing, by far, is, I think, the best Tier 5 battleship in the entire game. This thing is absolutely disgusting, and the reload, and the reason being is because it has access to that reload booster, man. The main battery reload booster on the Hyuga is what makes this thing just absolutely phenomenal. And not to mention, you get spotters, you get repair parties, you get really decent amount of hit points, 60,000 hit points at Tier 5, man. Oh my gosh. And on my build anyway, I've got my range out to 18 kilometers with a 26.8 second base reload. It's disgusting. And not to mention, the armor is absolutely phenomenal on the Hyuga. It's just great, man. Overall, Hyuga should be at Tier 6. It's that good. And if you haven't picked up the Hyuga yet and you're looking for a Tier 5 battleship, this is one of the best ones out there as well. And moving on to cruisers. Another cruiser I would say I would definitely recommend. Now, this is a touchy one because there's a lot of solid cruisers out there. But I would definitely say Rochester's a great cruiser. If you like Baltimore, if you like American heavy cruisers, Rochester's not a bad ship. Neither is Wichita. Wichita is very strong as well. Out of the two, however, I would recommend Wichita. Wichita is a very solid cruiser, and I would recommend it to anybody. It's got good agility, good firepower. It's got radar, all the stuff, man. Overall, Wichita is a solid ship. It's got heals. It's got the radar, like I said. It's got sonar, good utility, great firepower, and all the stuff, man. And it's got pretty good armor, 27 millimeters bow and stern, so you can ricochet up to 15 inches. Overall, a very solid ship at Tier 7. But another one I would recommend as well is a Rochester, man. Rochester, I want to actually pick this thing up eventually. The Rochester is a phenomenal ship. It gets kind of the same armor as the other American heavy cruisers, 27 millimeters, plastered all over the place. It's got fantastic 8-inch guns. However, instead of the radar, you get a smoke generator. And smokes are actually really nice to have. Now, it is kind of a selfish way to play because, you know, smokes, you kind of sit back and you farm damage, but yeah. And also, Rochester is an AA cruiser, guys. It's got phenomenal AA, easily the best AA for, I think, any American heavy cruiser in the game, other than, of course, maybe Des Moines and stuff. But yeah, and not to mention, you get defensive AA with the ship right off the bat. So overall, I think Rochester, very solid, and another great premium that I'm definitely going to be picking up since it got a buff recently. And another cruiser that I would recommend. There's just plenty of great ships out here, guys. But another cruiser I would recommend, if you like kind of the agility cruisers, is the Tier 5 British heavy cruiser, the Exeter. Fantastic cruiser. It's got great agility, and there's plenty of videos out here, or out there rather, on the Exeter. For example, Tier 7 Hipper. If you like those agile builds, you guys should immediately go watch his videos. But yeah, it's got great agility. It's got great firepower. The 8-inch British guns. They're not the best, but they're pretty damn good at Tier 5. Good amount of hit points, 29,000. You got torpedoes. You got good concealment. And you've got the smokes. That's right. And you've got the sonars. And it's actually really good sonar. 5.1 kilometer detection of ships. Phenomenal sonar for a British ship. So overall, man, there's some really solid options out there. Now, if you guys are wanting to go big with the money, like if you want to slap down some major bucks on Legends, I would strongly suggest picking up some Tier 7 ships. Like, for example, the Massachusetts is a phenomenal battleship. I love this ship. It's to this day my most played ship, man. And the reason being, it's so versatile. You can 1 minute be like, hey, I want to go secondary build. And for example, you can get your secondaries out to 10.5 kilometers with a Willis Lee build. And 1 minute you could be like, hey, I want to go a full accuracy build. And you can turn your Massachusetts into a fucking laser beam. Or you can just mix it up. You can go both secondary and accuracy and just kind of do a hybrid build, man. There's a lot of versatility with the Massachusetts. It's agile. It's got good freaking turning circle radius for a battleship. 710 meters is really good, unlike Iowa with like its 900 or 1,000 meter turning circle radius, man. This thing turns on a dime. It's agile. It's pretty small, too. I mean, look at the profile of this ship. It's not that big of a battleship. I mean, it's a very solid option at Tier 7 if you're looking for a really strong and overall, I think, a very versatile battleship in the game. You know, another great ship I would definitely say, moving on over to the Japanese, is, for example, the Azuma, man. Azuma got buffed recently. A lot of people are loving the Azuma. It's got them fantastic guns, but that's about it. The Azuma is basically, guys, in all you know, in all reality, it's a battle cruiser. So, I mean, personally for me, I'm not a big fan. However, one ship I would definitely suggest, once again, if you got the big bucks to pull out on this game, Suzuya. Suzuya, if you like them fire spammers, if you like burning people down at range, just sailing around and just causing people absolute pain and suffering, the Suzuya is absolutely phenomenal. It's got 15 155 millimeter Japanese 6-inch guns, 10-second base reload, 15-kilometer base range, 11% base fire chance. Man, this thing is disgusting. You're spitting out literally 15 shells every 10 seconds. If you have a really good commander, like every 8 seconds, 14% fire chance. This thing's nasty. And not to mention, you've got the Japanese long lance torpedoes that reach out to 11 kilometers with a 17,000 base damage. They're freaking phenomenal. The ship's overall phenomenal. You got heals, you got the sonars, you got all the stuff, man. Suzuya, very solid option once again at tier 7. But yeah, like I said, if you guys are wanting a good starter battleship, I would strongly suggest picking up the Warspite. If you guys are wanting a very solid, it's really honestly, guys, a toss-up between the Warspite and the Hyuga. If you guys are wanting some good starting out battleships, they're very solid tier 5 premiums. Now, if you're wanting a credit-earning tier 7 premium battleship, for example, I strongly suggest Massachusetts. I strongly suggest Massachusetts. Over everything, Massa, man. Massa's phenomenal. I think it's one of the most powerful battleships at tier 7. If you want an overall good starting destroyer, T-61, man. T-61, it's got sonar. It's got the sonar smoke combo. Got really solid guns, really solid torpedoes. The T-61 overall is a very solid destroyer. If you're wanting something at a little bit of the mid tiers, right? It's a good solid ship. And another really high tier premium destroyer that I would suggest to people, if you really like, if you're really good at destroyers, or it's something you really fancy. A destroyer I would really suggest getting here, and if you have the time or the money to put on the game, the Friesland. Friesland's awesome. If you really like gunboats, mainly, the Friesland doesn't get any torpedoes. However, it has phenomenal firepower. It's got 4 5-inch guns, but here's the gist. It's got a 1.6 second reload on its guns. So basically, listen to my mouth right now. This is the fire rate of the Friesland. Bop, 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 bop. It's literally the most fun destroyer in the game. The amount of firepower that this little destroyer is able to dish out, it's so much fun. If you like gunboats and you don't have the Friesland, a very fucking awesome ship to have in your port. Pardon my language, but I love this ship. Also, another very solid destroyer to have. If you're like one of the competitive destroyer players, and you really like taking the game seriously, is a Loyang. Loyang, absolutely phenomenal, mainly because of this right here. The Loyang has the best sonar for any destroyer in the game. 5.4 kilometer detection of ships on a freaking destroyer. The Loyang sonar is absolutely disgusting just because of that range. 5.4 kilometers. Wow. And not to mention, you've got really solid guns. You got 4 127 millimeter 5-inch guns with a 3.3 second reload. Yeah, if I ever get the global XP to spare, this is probably going to be one of those ships I might pick up later down the line. Solid destroyer. Very, very strong because of that sonar smoke combo that you can potentially do. And also, the torpedoes are fantastic as well. I mean, they're not super fast, but they do have a 9.2 kilometer range. 11,600 maximum damage. Overall, Loyang, very solid option for destroyers. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys like as your favorite, premium ships in the game? What do you guys suggest? My list is going to stand. I think T-61, Warspite, I think the Hyuga, very solid ships. Exeter, Massachusetts, they're all very solid ships. If you like battleships, get the Hyuga, or get the Warspite, or get the frickin' Massachusetts. Fantastic battleships. If you like destroyers, pick up yourself a T-61. Go ahead and pick up, maybe if you have the global XP to spend. If you really like gunboats, smack some money down on the Friesland, man. Nothing but fun out of that thing. Even pick up the Kid. Kid is another solid option at tier 6 if you like gunboats. It's really fun, man. I still play my Kid to this day. Kid is absolutely phenomenal, man. And it's a Fletcher class destroyer at tier 6, and it's got absolutely fantastic guns. 3-second base reload on my build, and you're just able to put out 5-inch guns every 3 seconds. It's an absolute blast to play. It's tier 6 premium too, so you make a lot of credits. Same with a lot of the other tier 7 premiums in the game. But yeah, there's so many awesome destroyers in here. Not destroyers, but ships overall. Like, there's so many awesome premiums in here that you guys can choose from. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm always there to help you. If you want a destroyer that fits your playstyle, but you're not really sure, even after you watch this video, go ahead and go down into the comments. Ask me some questions. I'm always there to help you guys. You guys hopefully should know that by now. But hey, I'm just letting you guys know. I'm here for you guys. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help you. And enough talking, enough jibber-jabbing. I hope you all did enjoy this video. Happy Easter to you guys. And yeah, that's my suggestions for premium ships in this game. There's a lot of fantastic premiums out there. And yeah, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.